Okay, guys, so here's where we left off yesterday. So this is Algebra Day 2.5, introducing substitution. And today we're talking about a few division problems. Okay, so Jillian has 8 boxes. She puts an equal number of marbles in each box. If there are 96 marbles, find the number of marbles in each box. Show the formula, then solve. All right, this is easy enough for you guys, but let's just model this really quick. So we've got 8 boxes with a total of 96 marbles. And we want to find the number of marbles in each box. So if we wanted to find the number of marbles in each box, we would just divide 96 by 8, right? Which would equal 12 marbles. Okay, now check it out. Notice the way I wrote my division problem right here. I wrote it 96, and then it looks like a fraction, doesn't it? Well, it is a fraction because fractions are division problems. So 96 divided by 8 is the same as 96 divided by 8 with 96 being over 8. So that little symbol right there, and we're changing everything up in algebra, you guys. We're changing up the time sign. Now we're changing up the division sign. We're growing and changing because you guys are 6th graders now. So that's the same thing. We're going to write our division problems like this a lot of the time. In fact, most of the time from here on out. So that's an easy enough problem to solve. It was 12 marbles. All right, now let's see. What happens if we don't know how many total marbles Jillian has? Then we're gonna do it like this. Let's model it like this. She still has 8 boxes, so let's divide up our total number of marbles into 8. But this time she has an unknown amount of marbles, so we're calling that x. If there are x marbles, find the number of marbles in each box in terms of x. Oops, I messed that up. Let me erase that. Show the formula and then solve. Well, remember what we did just a second ago, you guys? We divided 96 by 8. Well, now we're dividing x by 8. So it's going to look like this. So our answer is x divided by 8 marbles, and that's how we're going to write it. That's the answer. We don't know how many marbles she had originally, so we can't find a number for the answer. But remember, again, algebra is something that lets us represent quantities that we don't know. So that is our answer. It's x over 8, or x divided by 8. All right, let's look at another problem. So Megan bought 3 books. If the total cost of the books is $12, find their average cost. Ooh, averages. Write the formula and then solve. So we've got 3 books that all together equal $12. So this problem sounds a little bit more complicated than it actually is. So if we want to find the average cost, we're just going to divide. So 12 divided by 3, which equals $4. All right. Now, what if the total cost of the books is $m? Find their average cost in terms of n. So Megan still bought 3 books, so that hasn't changed. But now she paid $m for her 3 books. And we want to find out what the average cost is of each book. Okay, so we're going to write that. We're still going to divide, but this time we're going to divide $m by 3. So it's going to look like that. We don't want to forget our label. So we've got our little dollar sign there. Okay, here's a TOYO. So go ahead and stop the video and try the TOYO and then come on back. Check your work. All right, let's see how you did. So Michael has 24 music CDs. He divides them into 3 equal groups. How many CDs are there in each group? Write the formula and then solve with a label. All right, easy enough, right guys? We're going to divide. So 24 divided by 3 equals 8 CDs. Let's try one that's a little bit more fun. Okay, now Michael has M music CDs. Same problem, we just don't know how many CDs he has, right? He divides them into 4 equal groups this time. How many CDs are there in each group? This is almost the same problem. We just don't know what the total is. The total is M. So we're going to divide again, and we're going to divide M by 4. We don't want to forget our labels. So we've got M divided by 4 CDs. All right, now we're going to look at some grading guidelines. So this is reprinted for you on that red sheet that I gave you and had you stick in the front of your math binder. But so if you have that, go ahead and turn to that right now, and let's just go over these grading guidelines. All right, in algebra, we are going to write multiplication. When we have a coefficient and a variable, we are going to write those if we're multiplying like this. So 4 times n is going to be written as 4n. So if you write 4 times n like this, that's going to be minus a half a point. It is also appropriate in algebra to write the coefficient, which is the number, before the variable. So we don't write n4, we write 4n. So n4, or like x4, y4, whatever, is going to be minus a half a point. Also in algebra, when the coefficient is 1, so just 1 times n, we don't write it. We just write the variable. So instead of writing 1n, we're going to write n. We just write n. All right, so this is going to be a minus a half a point. Same thing with 0. We don't write 0n. Now here's where it's a little bit trickier. We just write 0, because what is 0 times anything? It's 0, right, guys? So if you have 0 times a variable, it's just going to equal 0. So all you write is 0. Same thing like if you have, say, 0n plus 4, well, you would just write 4 because 0n isn't worth anything. It has no value because it's just 0. So it's just going to be, you're just going to write the 4 or whatever it is number that you've got, okay? All right. So remember how I told you had to have the parentheses around your expressions? Here's where this is important. So if you write an expression where you're talking about, say, for example, 4n plus 1 boys, and we're talking about boys for all of the, for this and for this, right? Then you need to have the parentheses. So it needs to look like 4n plus 1 boys with parentheses around it. And what that means is that the label boys applies to both the 4n and the 1. Okay? Or you could write 4n boys plus 1 boy. That'd be fine. But what is not correct is going to be 4n plus 1 boys. And here's why. When you write it this way, it means that the label boys only applies to that 1 right there and not the 4n. And so that is incorrect. You don't want to write it that way. Okay, so next one, remember our division. I told you we're not going to write 4 divided by n. We're going to write 4 over n. And I know that this is it looks like a floor/n. That's just computer talk for 4 divided by n, which looks like that normally. Okay. All right. In algebra, also, the coefficient always comes before the variable. So we don't write n4. We would write 4n. We would write the coefficient first. When you're multiplying, you're going to use a dot or parentheses instead of an x, or this multiplication symbol. In algebra, we will take a half off for using this multiplication symbol. Okay, so that applies to this unit only. All right, I think that's it. Your homework tonight is worksheet 193. Don't forget to use the correct algebraic conventions. When I'm talking about algebraic conventions, what I mean is the correct algebraic grammar. And you can find all those things right here. All right.